If you are a Windows PC user, whether you are a novice or an absolute expert, there are 5 programs that are 100% free that you need to download right now. Now, how is it that I can make such a big claim? Well, I've been fixing computers for over 30 years, and I would have to honestly say that probably 95 to 98% of the computers that come through my door, I use one or all of these 5 programs to fix them. And stick around to the end because I have a bonus that you're going to love and possibly need after October of next year. So even if you're a complete novice, don't worry about it. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. I'm going to tell you what the program is. I'm going to tell you why you need it, and I'm going to tell you how to get it and how to run it. And along the way, I'm going to show you a couple extra little tips that's going to make your life easier going forward. And just so you understand, I am listing these programs in levels of lethality. In other words, which ones do I start with because those are the simplest, and then I work my way up to the real power tools. The very first program on this list is called RKill. Now, this is not a repair utility, but what it can do is give you a good indicator of whether you have a problem in Windows or potentially a malware infection or a virus infection. It's a simple script that you double click on and run, and it goes and looks and sees if there's anything running that should not be running on your Windows PC. And if you're a novice user, you're not going to know what should and should be running. That's where RKill really shines because it does the work for you, and it's free. And remember, I told you I had a couple little tricks for you. This is the first one. So what I want you to do is just click the manila folder here and then go to this PC, then double click on your C drive, and anywhere here in this blank spot, just right click, click new, and then folder. And you can call it fix or help or whatever you want to call it, as long as you remember where these utilities are. Right now, there's nothing in there. Okay, so we got our storage location set. It's going to make more sense in just a minute, I promise. So in order to get RKill, just open up your web browser and then type in download RKill. The link right here to Bleeping Computer is the one that you want. You click on that. And then you can click on this link right here to download the program. And if for some reason it doesn't start right away, you can just go right here and force the download. So we have that downloaded, and we can see it went into our downloads folder. That's fine, just leave it there. Now the second program on this list is one that I guarantee you I use on any Windows PC that's either slow or potentially has a virus or malware infection. And that program is called Malwarebytes. It's 100% free, and you would not believe how good of a job it does of cleaning up crap that ended up on your computer. And you know, if you think you might have a virus or malware on your computer, if you can remove it yourself, you just saved yourself a service call. This is one of my favorite programs. Just about any tech in the world will tell you Malwarebytes is phenomenal, and it's super easy to download and set up. So once again, you're going to want to open your web browser, and then you're going to go and type malwarebytes.org into the title bar. And from here, you can just click free download to the top there, and the download will start right away. And same as with RKill, it's going to be in your downloads folder. So far, so good. Hey, if you're getting any value from this video at all, please take a second and like and subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 200,000 subscribers. It would mean so much. Thanks. Now, the next program on my top 5 list is a program that I use when Malwarebytes has given me an indicator that there is something going on, and it has removed some malware, but I suspect that maybe there's a deeper problem, and that program is called HitmanPro. Think of it as a mid-level, deep dive malware utility that maybe can find things that Malwarebytes couldn't. And again, 100% free, super easy to go find, download, and run. So what you want to do is just go to your favorite search engine and type HitmanPro. I usually look for the Bleeping Computer download. And you have 2 choices, the 64-bit or the 32-bit. Most everybody now is going to be 64, but depends on your system. Just click on the green Download Now button. And same as before, if it doesn't start right away, just go right here and force the direct download. So download's completed. As you can see, we now have these 3 programs in our download folder. Now the fourth must-have download that you need on your computer is called RogueKiller. This has absolutely been a wonderful tool over the years. It finds things that these other programs just sometimes cannot find. It's great for finding rootkit viruses, all kinds of malware, stealthy spyware, all kinds of stuff. Now, obviously, if you've run these other utilities and you're still having problems, this would be the absolute next step that I would use to see if you can fix your computer. So as before, you're going to open up your favorite web browser, and then you're going to type RogueKiller, all one word. And you can download it directly from the website if you like, but I prefer going to Bleeping Computer right here. And there is only just the one download, so click on that and wait for the download to start. And again, if it doesn't, just click here to force the download. All right, so the download's complete. As you can see, we have the RKill, the Malwarebytes, the HitmanPro, and the RogueKiller all in our downloads folder. Now, the fifth program that everybody should download and have available just in case is a very controversial program. It is called Tron Script. Now, it is an amazing tool. It will go and just dig and dig and dig and fix things that I frankly couldn't believe that it actually fixed. It will remove malware. It will remove tracking cookies. It will clean up excessive hard disk usage. It will defrag your computer. It will do everything. The upside is that once you start it, you just walk away, come back, and you basically got a clean computer again, which is good because that means that you don't have to go reinstall Windows, especially if you have a ton of files and all that stuff. Tron Script is absolutely a fantastic tool, but it is meant to be used as a last resort. However, if you get to that point, if you have a computer that's so infected that the only other option is to reinstall Windows, having Tron Script handy could very well save the day. So before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and warn you, your antivirus program may flag this as a virus. It is absolutely not a virus. It's a false positive. This program is completely safe. I've used it for years without any issues. It has so many things inside the script that are virus-like that your antivirus might freak out. But don't worry about it. I'll show you that it's safe. So from your search bar, you're going to type Tron Major Geeks. The first link should show up right here to Major Geeks website. Click on Download Tron. Now at this point, you've got two links here. I'll show you that this is perfectly safe. If you right click on this link, I'll go to copy link. I'll go to virus total so we can put in the link and you can see that it's 100% safe. I'll right click the Tron link. It's flagged as a 0. Doesn't get any safer than that. But that doesn't mean our antivirus isn't going to freak out. I'll show you how to fix that. All right, so at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to turn off my real-time protection. You may have to just turn off your antivirus for a couple minutes. That's okay. Go back here and try to download it again. Now that we have the antivirus turned off, it should go through. And obviously, as a computer professional, I would not be telling you to do this unless I was 100% sure that the file was safe. Okay, there we go. Now the file is completed, and you can see we have RKill, Malwarebytes, HitmanPro, RogueKiller, and Tron. So I'm going to go ahead and close the browser, and before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and turn my antivirus back on. So now we have the five files that we need, but we're not done yet. Today's video is sponsored by Aura. Your odds of winning a lottery jackpot? About 1 in 290 million. But some people still play their favorite numbers every week expecting to win. Your odds of your house burning to the ground? 1 in 3,000. But you pay every year for homeowners insurance just in case. Your odds of having your identity stolen or being a victim of online crime? 1 in 4. Let me say that again so it sinks in. 1 in 4. And even though you spend all this money every year protecting everything else in the world, what are you doing to protect yourself against becoming a victim of online crime or identity theft? Unfortunately, a lot of people don't think about it until it's way too late. And that's where Aura comes in. And myself being a victim of identity theft in the past, trust me, that's a battle you do not want to fight. Data brokers sell your information to spammers and scammers. Your full name, your address, your phone number, health records, your relatives, it's all out there for the picking. We hear all the time about companies getting hacked and data breaches and all of that. AT&T just recently released that 73 million customer records were released on the dark web. And they recommend using strong passwords, monitor your account activity, and consider credit freezes or fraud alerts from the credit bureaus. But who has time to do all that? I know I don't, but Aura does. Their system shows me which data brokers are trying to sell my data and then automatically submits opt-out requests for me. They also protect me against hackers who are trying to get into my social media, bank accounts, and other personal information. Aura does all of this with just one app. To find out more, sign up for a 2-week free trial at aura.com/askyourcomputerguy and find out for yourself what's really out there with your name on it. And before I forget, if you remember I told you I had a couple little quick secrets for you, here's another one. While you're downloading these files, I would definitely recommend that you bookmark or favorite these websites. May not make sense right now, but it will in a little bit. So now you have the 5 most important programs that you need to keep on your PC. But I've got a little bonus for you, and I'll explain it as we go along. If you have Windows 10, your support from Microsoft is going to end October 25th. And what that means is potentially if at some point you have to go out and create a Windows installer disk, which if you've watched any of my videos, I talk about that all the time. In order to install Windows, you need an installer disk, and if you don't have one, you have to go download it. After support ends, you won't be able to do that anymore. I'm going to show you how to go download this file and keep it in this folder because it might come in handy one day. Now, of course, if you have Windows 11, you don't have to worry about this for a while, but Windows 10 end of support means this is pretty important. So from your Google search bar, you want to type download Windows 10 Media Creation Tool. So this first link here on the Microsoft website that says ISO file, that's what you want to click on. Now you will get a window similar to this. What you want to do is scroll down here to create Windows 10 installation media. When you click download now, and I'm not sure why the browser is saying it's unsafe, but that's fine. Just go ahead and keep it, and then just go ahead and run it. Now it's going to take a few minutes to prepare itself, but then it's going to give you a couple options. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and accept the license agreement. After a couple minutes, it's going to give you this window, and you have two choices at this point. You can upgrade this PC now, which is what you do not want to do. The second option is to create installation media, either a flash drive or an ISO file for another PC. That's the option you want to select, and then just go ahead and click next. So go ahead and click next on this next screen. Here's the thing that I always show people. Normally, if you have an empty flash drive with nothing on it, you can click on USB flash drive and it will create a Windows bootable installer disk. If you have a blank flash drive, you can go ahead and do that right now. Just follow the steps. Just make sure that USB flash drive is selected and click next. Or, this is another option that you can use, which I recommend, is click on ISO file and then click next. And then what it's going to do is it's going to ask you where you want to put that ISO file. You can put it in the same downloads folder that the other files that we downloaded are in. It'll make more sense in a minute. Just sit back and wait for it to download. Okay, so a few minutes have gone by and you're going to see this screen that says burn this ISO to a DVD. But you don't have to do that. So if you click on this link right here, you'll see it pop up right here in your downloads folder. There is the Windows ISO file. And basically all that is a Windows installer. And when you click on that Windows ISO file, you're going to see it looks exactly like the contents of a Windows installer disk. So you could, if necessary, double click on setup and start Windows reinstalling. At this point, you can just go back to this window and close it out. Say, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm good to go. So we have the contents of the Windows download folder, which contains all the files that you just downloaded. I'm going to go ahead and delete the media creation tool that we downloaded in order to get the ISO file because we don't need it. So at this point, you should have RKill, Malwarebytes, HitmanPro, RogueKiller, Tron, and the Windows ISO file. Now, if you remember earlier when I told you to favorite or bookmark those pages, this is why I told you to do that. What you ideally want is to keep these files on your computer, but don't just rely on a version you downloaded today and in a year from now it hasn't been updated. The purpose of those bookmarks and favorites is so that you can, every couple weeks, every couple months, go back and download those files again and overwrite the older ones so that you always have a fresh copy. When I show you how to install these, it'll make more sense as to why you would want to make sure you have updated versions, but we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so we have all of our downloads ready to go. Just go ahead and select all of those from the downloads folder, right click on them and click cut. And then we're going to go back to that folder on the C drive, the fix folder, right click inside that folder, click paste. And that's going to put all of those files in that folder for easy access. And as an extra little trick, if you have a flash drive, what I would do is go back to that main folder here, right click on it, send to flash. What that's going to do is it's going to make a duplicate copy that you can keep on a flash drive just in case you ever need it. Okay, so we have these fantastic programs saved on our computer just in case something happens. And that's great. But at some point, you're going to need to run them. And even though they're all free, there is a couple things that you need to know. So I'm going to walk through each program with you and tell you what you need to know. Okay, so the first program that we're going to deal with is the RKill. And you can just double click on that file. And this is what it's going to look like. Now, while this is running, let me tell you what it's doing. Windows has active processes. Everything that you're running on your computer is a process, both the good stuff and the bad stuff. What RKill does is it goes and looks for the bad stuff and severs its head while it's running. Now, this is a really good utility to look and judge your PC performance while you're using it, because if you run RKill and suddenly your computer starts acting normally, that should tell you that there is a Windows process or potentially virus or malware that's running on the computer, and then you can troubleshoot from that point and try to figure out what's going on. RKill by itself doesn't delete anything, it doesn't remove anything, it doesn't turn anything off, it certainly doesn't affect your personal files. Once you run RKill, if you restart your computer, whatever was causing it to be slow the first time, it's going to come back. But it's a great little utility to kind of give you an idea if the problem you're having is a Windows problem or perhaps a hardware problem like a bad hard drive. So run this program, let it finish, and let it quarantine and find whatever it can find. If you run it and it seems like it's freezing or sits around for 15-20 minutes, doesn't really do anything, that's okay. Let it run. After about an hour, you can just close it. Sometimes it does that. Now, the next program on the list is Malwarebytes. Now, this program actually has to be installed, so I'm just going to double click it and start the install. And you're just going to accept the defaults all the way through it. No big deal. I'll show you what you need to know after it's done. Okay, the installation is almost done. It's going to prompt you at pretty much every point to try to join the pro version, okay? And just skip all that and just say continue with the free trial. This will make sense in a second. So I'll get into how it works here in just a second, but there's two ways to use Malwarebytes. There is the free version, which works 100%, but it doesn't manually update the malware databases. And of course, as you know, malware comes every single day and there's new stuff found every single day. Now, I've used Malwarebytes for years, and actually, I bought the pro version back when it was a one-time fee. It's not an annual cost. But what I tell people is if you're going to spend any money on protection, antivirus and anti-malware are the way to go. So if you want to stay with the free version for now, what you're going to do is just go click this little box right here up at the top. Go to My Subscription. Now, again, when you first set it up, you get a 2-week free trial. That's how they get you to try to go, hey, I love this program, I'm going to just keep paying for it. But you don't have to. Just click on deactivate trial and it's going to say, are you sure? You just say yes, no problem. Boom. Now you are on the free version. Before you run this program, if you need to, when you open it up, you're going to click settings and then click right here to check for updates. As you can see, just since I downloaded it, there were already updates. It's going to go out, it's going to download those updates, and then you would click close, go back to your dashboard and click scan, and then turn it loose. It's going to automatically detect any malware that it finds. It's going to give you the option of quarantine with just a couple clicks. You don't have to have any advanced knowledge, just point and click. It's very basic. This is one of the best programs out there, especially if you are prone to malware or viruses, or you seem like you always have something on your computer that somebody else has to clean up. This is something you can use. It's 100% free. I love it. I guarantee you will too. Now, full disclosure, because I love Malwarebytes so much and because I've been with them forever, I am a Malwarebytes affiliate. I will put a link in the description. If you use that link and decide to stay with the free version, doesn't cost you a dime. If you decide to upgrade to the pro version, you're buying into a great piece of software. But if you want to help me out and go with the pro version, please use that link. Otherwise, use it forever. I don't care either way. It's a great program and absolutely one of the best programs you can put on your computer. Okay, so the next program in the list is the HitmanPro. You're just going to double click it to start it, and it's going to automatically go out and update for you. So once the update's completed, click next, then next again on the terms and conditions. Like Malwarebytes, this is a free program, but there are advanced features. Now, you could certainly pay for the software, but in this case, I would recommend you just use it when maybe you've run Malwarebytes and it's found a bunch of stuff, but your computer's still acting a little weird, and maybe you just want to do an advanced scan. You could just check, no, I only want to perform this one-time scan, and then click next, and then it's going to start doing what it does. And again, very simple point-and-click interface. It's not a whole lot of techie mumbo jumbo. It's just going to ask you very simple basic questions that you can answer, and you just let it do its thing. It finds tons of tracking cookies, and if there's extra malware that maybe Malwarebytes didn't find, this one should be able to find it. It's a really great utility. I've used it for years. I like it, but you can absolutely stay with the free version, no problem, but the pro version is even better. And again, just like the other programs, whatever it finds, follow the steps and clean your system and you're good to go. Okay, so maybe you've run the RKill and the Malwarebytes and the HitmanPro and your system's getting better, but it's still not 100%. The next program in the list is basically the howitzer tank of the repair world, and that program is called RogueKiller. So you just simply double click the setup, and this one actually has an installer that it actually installs into your computer, which is fine, perfectly safe. Just accept the defaults all the way through it. Next, 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 all that stuff, typical installation. And then when it's done, you just click next. Now, sometimes the program starts automatically. Sometimes you actually have to go to your start button and click on RogueKiller. Either way, just open the program. Now, what I would do before I actually started scanning is click check for updates right here. And it'll tell you it's either up to date or it'll download an update. You should do that every time you run the program. In this case, I'm ready to start scanning. So I'm going to click scan, and I'm going to go ahead and just do a full scan. That's usually what I do. A quick scan is fine, but a full scan is better. Click full scan, and again, just like the other programs, turn it loose. It's going to show you a visual screen right here where it'll show you any detected items that it finds in red, and then just like the other programs, it's going to show you what it found. If you're not sure what it found is good or bad, it's better to quarantine it, because you can always go back into the program and unquarantine it and put it back where it belongs. But for most novice users, whatever it finds is probably bad stuff, and it's probably safe to get rid of. Again, one of my favorite utilities. This program is fantastic. I've used it for years. Techs across the world use it for years and swear by it. It is really good. It finds malware, spyware, cookies, rootkit viruses, Trojan viruses, pretty much any way you can infect your computer, RogueKiller is going to find it and kill it. I've seen plenty of machines that all I did was run RogueKiller and boom, it works like a champ. So this is definitely one that you want to keep in your toolbox. So we started with a little diplomacy running RKill and Malwarebytes, and maybe that didn't work as well as we thought. So we decided to make a presence on the battlefield with HitmanPro. And that didn't seem to work very well. So we stepped it up, started bringing our tanks onto the battlefield with RogueKiller, and that's not working. So the next step is to bring in the heavy artillery, and this is a program that you may not like it when you first start running it, but I promise you, once you see the results, you are going to be blown away. This program I have seen make dead, tired, aching, slow computers run like brand new out of the box. But there are some caveats, but I'm going to tell you about those before I even show you how to get this thing started, because it can cause some issues and you need to know what those are. First of all, this program, as we went through earlier, it's not a virus. It's a perfectly safe script that has programs inside of it like McAfee Stinger and Kaspersky Anti-Rootkit and all these other things. It looks like a virus just simply because of the way it acts, but that's because it's so good that antivirus programs just freak out. It's 100% safe, I promise you. Now, what I do know is the only time it will affect your personal files is if they are actually infected themselves. I have heard some people complain about this program stripping Microsoft gameplay, Minecraft settings, or saved worlds and things like that. I'm not a gamer, so I don't know exactly what that means, but if you have saved gameplay data somewhere, back it up before you run this, because it's a good chance that Tron Script is going to go and strip it and remove it. Some of the other amazing things that this program does: it does have a built-in defragmentation device. So if you have a hard disk drive versus an SSD, it will go and defrag that. It will also help get rid of a lot of Windows telemetry, system services that don't need to be running, just really good at debloating your Windows. Now, it's not perfect. It's not going to make your Windows as streamlined as possible, but what it will do, especially if you have a computer that's acting stupid, it's just going to work and you're going to be blown away. But again, this is one step shy of the nuclear option, but most of the time you don't need to do anything beyond Tron Script to get your computer back up and running. Now, the last caveat is that while there are some command line options, and certainly read through the FAQ, because you can run this from a command line and make it take a lot less time, I don't usually do that. I just say all or nothing. Run, do the whole thing. That can take anywhere from about 3 to 30 hours. So don't sit and stare at the screen and wait for some magic to happen. It could take 3 hours or it could take 2 days, depending on how bad your computer is messed up. That being said, you have been warned. Now, let me show you how to run it. You're going to simply double click on the Tron that you downloaded. And you may get a notification like this that says, hey, are you sure you want to do this? Whatever. Just go ahead and tell it to run anyway. You're going to see a window that pops up like this. And what it's doing is it's extracting all those utilities that I told you about, the Kaspersky, the McAfee Stinger, all that stuff. And now if you look, you see you have 2 additional folders. Those are the folders that Tron Script created when you just extracted it. So what you're going to do is double click on that Tron folder, and then you'll see this file right here. That's the executable. Before you run it, double click the instructions right here. There's a ton of information, tells you everything you need to know. And again, if you want to go deal with command line options, it shows you all the different command line options. You could maybe eliminate 70% of what it does using the command line. Read the instructions first before you run it. Once you've done that, take this file, the Tron file, right click on it, run as administrator. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to prep the software to run. It's going to go out and perhaps download updates, check the current system configuration, all that stuff. This red screen is exactly what you want. Now, once you get to this point, you have read the instructions, you've been made aware of the potential issues. And again, don't worry about your personal files. I've never seen this thing delete any personal file that wasn't actively infected with a virus. This focuses more on fixing Windows problems more than it's worried about your personal stuff. But read the instructions, heed my warning. Once you are ready, type I agree, all caps, and hit enter. And sit back and wait for the magic to happen. I promise you, if you get to the point where nothing else works, this is the next best thing to wiping your computer and starting over. Hey, I certainly hope one of those programs took care of you and got you fixed up. And unfortunately, sometimes computers are just so messed up that the only option you have is to wipe it, start over. If you've got your files backed up, click on this video right here and I show you exactly how to do it step by step. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.